Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. We are talking about the growing speculation surrounding James Maddison and a possible move to Arsenal this summer for the English midfielder. But before we go any further in talking about this story, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you're new. Both things are always and very greatly appreciated. But for now, let's get back to talking about James Maddison and a possible move to the Emirates, a possible move to Arsenal this transfer window. It's been reported for a while now that Arsenal have been looking at James Maddison. Maddison has been on Arsenal's radar for a long time. The Gunners have been on the lookout for a creative goal-scoring midfielder, and Maddison seemingly fits the criteria. The halting this potential deal, though, might be the possible transfer fee that the Foxes are demanding. It's being said that the Leicester are holding out for a fee believed to be in the region of £70 million for the midfielder. Arsenal have already been busy in this transfer window, of course. They've already signed the likes of Nuno Tavares and Albert Sambi-Lokonga. And with Ben White from Brighton pretty much all but confirmed, maybe even confirmed by the time this video goes up, I don't know. They don't seem to be slowing down anytime soon, and rightfully so. They've already identified and strengthened areas within their squad that they needed to be addressed within their squad. And now it seems they need to address a very big issue for them within their ranks, and that is, of course, goals and creativity, both from a midfield position. And it seems that they've identified Maddison as a possible solution to that problem. But the question remains, will he be at the Emirates for next season? Maddison is 24 years of age and has fallen a little bit out of favour at Leicester in recent times, since the team has moved from playing their normal back four, where Maddison could fit into a number 10 role, into playing more of a back three formation. But for his age, for his ability, for his technical ability on the ball, for his creativity, his goal scoring and everything in between, it personally, in my opinion, would make for a worthy addition to many sides. And Arsenal in this scenario would be no different. Arsenal, I think, would have a very good player on their hands if they can get this deal over the line. But it's the price tag of £70 million that seems to be a bit of a stumbling block. Obviously, English tax is thrown into it, as we've now come to expect from whenever two English teams go into negotiations for one of their players. The price might be enough to make Arsenal turn away from negotiations. But on the other hand, there's been a lot of talk this transfer window that Arsenal have some serious money to spend this summer. And maybe with the addition of getting rid of one or two, or maybe even more of their deadwood players and bringing in some extra money that way, maybe more money could be raised, and maybe the funds could be raised for this particular deal to go ahead here if they are serious about James Maddison. As I personally think this could be an excellent signing for the Gunners, and will take some of the weight off an inexperienced Emil Smith-Rowe, for example, of having to constantly play, perform and deliver from that particular role week in, week out. And above all, he is the type of player that Arsenal both want and need. Not unusual for Leicester to have entered these high-profile negotiations in the past and obviously played the hardball kind of tactics, holding every card within their hands, so to speak. The fact is, the Foxes are pretty well run from top to bottom, and attempting to prize away one of their worthy assets is obviously going to be no easy task, as we've seen in the past before, which is why United had trouble in signing Harry Maguire a few years ago, with Leicester managing to get 80 million out of the Red Devils. And earlier this transfer window, it was reported that Liverpool were interested in Yuri Tielemans being a target of the Reds, but the Foxes put a very similar price tag on the Belgian midfielder's head, and it seems that that was enough to stop Liverpool from pursuing him further. Leicester currently hold all the cards in this situation too. Maddison has 3 years left on his contract, hence why his price tag is so high, other than the fact of English tax, of course. But in saying that, there have been rumours that the Foxes are either preparing for life without Maddison, if that means that Arsenal are prepared to obviously accept the Foxes' demands, or they are feeling more and more open, shall we say, to letting Maddison go. And let's face it, if they do that, Leicester's recruitment in the past hasn't been that bad. You know, Leicester have lost some high-profile names in the past, but Leicester's recruitment has always been good enough to recover and to obviously regenerate that kind of squad personnel. When they lost N'Golo Kante a few years ago as one of the major high-profile exits of Leicester in the modern era, they had Wilfred Ndidi in to cover. When Maguire left a few years ago, as I mentioned, they had Kagalos Sayunshu come in and take his place. They've always managed to use the money seemingly correctly, and whether it's been spending it on a direct replacement or spending it on other areas of the team, as they already have a replacement within their ranks, so to speak, Leicester have done a fine job in doing exactly that. And that could happen again here if obviously that they go down that route in selling Maddison. But for that to happen, it seems that the Gunners will obviously have to either accept Leicester's demands, or they could wait and see what Maddison does, and if Maddison starts to kick up a bit of a fuss and wants out of the club. If neither of those things happen, then of course Arsenal will have to look elsewhere, because this is a kind of player and a kind of role that he plays that Arsenal definitely do need to strengthen within their squad. And it does seem that Arsenal do have somebody else that they are monitoring the situation of on their radar, and that is of course Martin Odegaard. He could be another possibility for the Gunners in this area. Odegaard of course was on loan at Arsenal during the second half of last season and played 20 times for Mikel Arteta's side across all competitions. He certainly impressed initially when he came to the Emirates. His impact fizzled out though as time wore on, but there was enough to suggest that the 22-year-old could be a worthy addition to a lot of clubs should his parent club Real Madrid decide to sell him on properly. And Arsenal, of course, being the lone club at the time, were said to be ahead of the chasing pack, so to speak. They were seemingly ahead of the line. However, a fair bit has changed since then, of course, at Madrid, with Zidane gone, Ancelotti back, and of course their financial problems continue to worsen and deepen. But for the situation as it stands now, it's whether or not they want to keep a hold of a player like Odegaard. Ancelotti is said to be a bit of a fan of his, but it's whether or not they want to keep him or whether or not they want to cash in on him now to kind of aid their troubling financial problems. But Arsenal are still supposedly monitoring the situation when it comes to Odegaard. Maddison does seem to be their top and number one target, but they do see Odegaard as a bit of a backup considering the job that he did at the club, and obviously it won't take too much time as much as Maddison to bed into that squad currently. But we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. Regardless, we haven't heard the last of this transfer saga this summer. But these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. I personally think that this will be a fantastic addition to Arsenal's side should they sign James Maddison. I know the price tag may be a little bit of a stumbling block for them, but I think this will be an excellent addition. What do you guys think though? Do you think James Maddison would be an excellent addition for Arsenal? Leicester fans, would you want to get rid of James Maddison and for the price tag that Leicester are apparently set? Or do you think Arsenal should turn their attention to a Martin Odegaard or someone different? I'd love to know your thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, whatever you want to call it, down in the comments section below. I'm sure that will make for interesting reading. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way up if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new or want to see more content like this. Both things always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch, this has been another Fletch Talks video, and I'll see and speak with you all again soon in another video.